the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
So welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. I am Andre Quintana, your host for the podcast, and we meet here twice a month to give you some information about this wonderful thing that we call dental billing going on in dentistry right now, because this is a company that you have to look at as a company that is going to have a great future. If you don't work for this company and you're interested in having a career with the eAssist, don't go any farther than this point. You need to call us and go to dentalbilling.com or eassist.com, where we are going to give you as much as we can to make you part of the team or make you part of the family as a client as well, because that's what we do. We change and transform dental offices by all the work that we do to take all of the billing issues off their plate. So now I won't delay anymore, because I have someone that I have been trying to capture for this podcast, and that is Tonya Valencia, and she is a regional manager with eAssist. And Tonya, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Andre.
Can you let our audience know a little bit more about yourself and maybe how you found eAssist?
I have been with eAssist since about, I think it was around October, November of 2010, and it was one of the most amazing blessings in my life. We were really suffering through the recession, my husband and I and our family. We were hit pretty hard in 2008 with the recession, and we're just really struggling. And I was working at a dental office, a local dental office here where we live in St. George, Utah. And just was really struggling making ends meet. And our hours had been cut. We were struggling scheduling patients. The office wasn't doing well. Long story short, I was making only about $500-$600 a month at that job. And my husband had been out of work for months. He's in the construction trades and was having a real difficulty, had moved up to Salt Lake City, which is about 4.5 hours north of where we live, trying to find gainful employment up there in hopes to maybe move the family up there. So during our struggles, I have two small children at home during this time, and my oldest was graduating from high school, trying to get all of that taken care of and manage a family making $500 or $600 a month. It was a huge, it makes me emotional because it was a real struggle. And the things, going to visit grandma at dinner time to feed the kids, donating plasma twice a week. I made $50 donating plasma twice a week to help put food on the table. So I had just gotten to this point in my life where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not surviving. I'm dying here. So I told my husband, I said, I need to quit my job. I really do just need to quit my job because I can't survive. I'm not growing. And I'm a firm believer, if you're not growing, you are dying. Mm-hmm. So he was a little scared and apprehensive at first because it was our only income that we had coming in at the time. And but I told him how adamant I was, and he immediately just said, after gave me a little bit of pushback, he right after recognized my pain and said, okay, you do what you need to do. I trust you. I know you'll do what's best for our family. So that in itself took a huge weight off of my shoulders. I felt an immediate relief. Even though I was still going into that office, I knew I could start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. One day I'm sitting on the plasma bed donating plasma, and I get a call from this wonderful lady. Her name's Sandy Gutierrez on my phone. And I answered the phone, and I didn't know her, but a doctor that I had worked for previously, wonderful, wonderful mentor to me, she had given Sandy my name, Sandy and Dr. Anderson my name. She had actually worked with Dr. Anderson in one of his practices up in Syracuse, and was working with him at that time. And as they were starting this new venture, she put my name out there saying, hey, Tonya would be great for this. So I'm laying on this plasma bed, donating plasma, and I get this phone call from Sandy saying, hey, Dr. Patton gave us your name, said you may be interested. And I literally just started crying. I hope she didn't hear that. I wasn't trying, okay. But I was like, this is a blessing from divine intervention. I don't know how else to put it. And said, yes, I would love to know more. She said, okay, well, why don't you come up? My husband was already working in Salt Lake, or trying to find work in Salt Lake, and was going to school in Salt Lake. And this was in Syracuse, which is very close to Salt Lake City. And I thought, great, if I can get a job up there, then maybe we can move the whole family and be together again. So I set an appointment with Sandy to go up and spend a couple of days shadowing, learning what they do, understanding the nature of what they were doing. And that's how I got into EAssist. It wasn't called EAssist at the time. It was called Insurance Claims and Billing, and then Insurance Claims and Collections. It was something very different, and I'm really glad they changed the name. But they had cubicles that everybody was working in when I got there, and I sat down in one of the cubicles, was handed a telephone, and got my computer connected to the offices that I was going to be taking care of, which that office and I started on the same day. And that office is still one of my offices that I take care of today.
Wow.
Which is I'm so very grateful for them. But anyway, I told Dr. Anderson, as I'm working through and getting, that I love the concept, and I love the ability to be able to help these practices, but I just don't think that I can commit to being in this office where you have these cubicles set up right now. I need to get my kids, my oldest graduated from his school in St. George, and get my kids taken care of and get things wrapped up, and then I need to move. And I don't have a timeline on that. So he said, okay, we'll do this. We'll get you set up so that you can work from home and you can take care of your offices from home. But this is only on the contingency that you commit to coming up here and moving up here and working within our office space here.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then it fortunately it never happened because now we've opened up the opportunity for everyone to work from home. And I'm very grateful to be able to do that now.
Ladies and gentlemen, EAssisters and EAssist Nation, and anybody who runs into this episode right now, we can pretty much probably wrap up right now, close, say goodbye. And this would be just such an inspiring story to anybody listening to this show. And I really, really thank you for that, Tonya, because I'm going to share with you a little story. For example, I have a child with special needs. He's on the spectrum, high functioning, and doing really well now. He's about to get into high school, but I had to sell my practice. I had a very popular. I was only in business for 3 years, but there was a doctor that wanted to buy it from me, and if everything had been right, I don't think I would have done that. But I had to do it because my wife, Dr. Jane, needed to keep working. And that was around the recession. We started in 2007. Right. And the truth is that then I had to figure things out for her because she doesn't love the business side of dentistry. She loves the dentistry. And my role was to help her and be a consultant. And I truly gained a love for coaching and consulting. And I started doing it for eye care professionals, and I grew in that side of my work. But I could never leave the office because the dental office really relied on me for being there, making sure the claims were all up to date and collections were good, and all EOB, everything that we're going to talk about today, like EOBs being posted and reviewed denied claims and verified, claims not even sent to insurance, all that, right? But fast forward, this was back in when I joined her in 2009. Then I worked full-time. Well, I took care of my family. I was able to take care of my son because that was the reason I sold the practice. So I was working part-time, and then it turned into full-time at times when they were in school. Fast forward, I got so behind now. And back, this year or last year when we joined the Assist, and that's when I talked to Michelle. But now, because of eAssist, and the kind of parallel with your story, I'm able to do this kind of work, like do a podcast, which I grew great passion for, do more coaching, consulting, be more of a global impact on doctors out there. And I couldn't have done that as I was tied down by all the dental claims and the billing. And now because of eAssist, I am blessed myself being able to do this from home at times when I want to. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Being able to work from home, it's kind of like that too good to be true almost sometimes. I mean, so many people, when they sign up to work from home with eAssist, they thought it was a scam, or they thought, maybe I'm just gullible, maybe I'm just naive. I looked at it and I went, oh my gosh, this is the blessing that I've been searching for in my life. This is the answer to my prayers. And it worked out to be just exactly that. And I turned it into a successful business that I can support my family. I can have the ability to be here with my kids as they're getting older and going through, the teenage changes in life. And as I graduate high school and college, I can have the flexibility to take care of all of those things with my family, for myself, and it's an amazing opportunity to do that.
And now everything is a process, because we can't have everybody all of a sudden in the world working from home. We do need these great teams like I have, and many other dentists have, in those offices doing great things for patients. But what is beautiful about all this is that it puts people where they need to be at the proper time. Like you, in your case, you had a need, and you needed to fulfill that need, like many other eAssisters that have gained this experience over the years, and that now they're able to make an impact on their family because of their family situation may have changed, or their financial situation. And then they're also being able to impact other dental offices. What are your thoughts?
The impact for the dental offices as well. I mean, it's enormous. The impact for each one of us as individual or independent contractors working individually for ourselves. I hear so many stories of eAssisters that, we call them the scrappers, the ones that fight, the ones that have this urge within them to just, scrape and crawl their way out of despair. And there's so many stories like that. And it's amazing to be able to have the opportunity to share this platform with those individuals so that they have the opportunity to pull themselves out of those situations. And as far as the offices go, we see so many situations where the offices are struggling to keep their doors open. They are struggling to pay their bills. They are struggling to feed their families and support the families of the employees that they have on staff. And moreover, the patients of those practices. I think about those patients of those practices that maybe can't afford a surprise $500 bill because they're struggling to pay the light bill, or they're struggling to feed their family and put food on their table. So I think about all of those things as I look for inspiration to do what I do and continue to have the will and the drive to stay inspired every day. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
But I try to instill that when I'm searching for team members to be on these teams for these offices. I try to instill that feeling, that way of thinking. I don't know how else to put it, but that thought process into how they come to the table and look at the situation for these offices. It's not just a paycheck. I'm not here just to make money. Mm-hmm. I'm here to influence, impact, and hopefully inspire some of these people that we're bringing on board, but as well as being the advocate for the offices and their patients.
Tonya, when I went to Summit, this past weekend in Orlando, I saw one thing there. Number one, Dr. Anderson talks about the message to Garcia. And number two, I see a bunch of amazing people, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a few gentlemen that do this for dental offices, that just like to do the right thing when nobody's looking. And you have many people on the team that are like that I actually called on another segment that I did with Michelle. Leaders. You have all these leaders. I don't know how you guys do it. I haven't been in one of your team huddles or anything like that, but it just seems like you all want to have that message to Garcia approach to this business. I want to let people know that are listening, because right now, I bet if somebody's running into this episode, like I ran into amazing podcasts over the last few years, a way to contact eAssist, which is eassist.com or dentalbilling.com. Also, the phone number is 844-327-7478. And now let's shift a little bit to the office, Tonya, because we have to talk about how hard it is to do it all. We have to talk about how much time it takes to verify these insurances. How much time it takes to give the doctor a top-notch schedule. How much time to build. We're forgetting about something else that we haven't talked about, is building relationships with your patient. Hello, that's one of the most important things that you can do in a dental office. It takes so much time to do all that. eAssist actually eliminates all of the hard work that normally we do behind this, that we should be doing behind the scene. But if we don't do it in regular time, then we fall behind. How can you explain that a little bit better with your experience?
Well, with my experience, I agree. eAssist is here. I think Rebecca Avey put it. We're the little magic fairy, sprinkling fairy dust all over these things, so that when they come into the office the next day, everything's all nice and tidy and taken care of. I personally like to think of myself as the office manager's assistant. The doctor has an assistant. The hygienist has an assistant. And I try to build my relationship with the office manager as their assistant. I'm your assistant. I'm your virtual assistant to help take off all of these things off of your plate. I'm here to make you look good. I'm here to help you succeed and help you be better and help you bring more income and revenue into the practice. So that's kind of how I like to approach it. It does take an exorbitant amount of time. I've been an office manager in the office and in the practice, and I know that things that don't have, the screaming mouth gets fed first, things that aren't screaming as loud can get pushed to the back burner. The aging report, the patient aging, all of these things get pushed to the back burner that really are important to the health of the practice. And you know that as an office manager, but struggle getting there because you're having to put out fires with your staff. You're having to take care of your patients. You're having to answer the calls about the statements that they've received. You're having to take care of the doctor and all the questions that they have that they need to be have taken care of. So there's so many things pulling on the office manager. So if I can be their assistant, then I can help take all of those things off of their plate and help them be more successful.
Well, I'll paint the picture. Just imagine a doctor gets in early in the morning to start on a multi-unit, treatment plan, and he needs everybody, or she needs everybody around them just performing at all levels, because they want to get the patient in, out, and don't forget, we have other patients that have to be seen on that day. Then we have emergencies. We have someone could be falling behind. Then we have an overload of phone calls. And to be honest with you, the doctor could get stressed out by the level of work that is being performed at that time. And then the front desk may get stressed out at the same time because they may have been behind the last couple of days putting everything together with the claims and the amount of phone calls coming in, and then you get this big ball of just stress that surrounds the office. Some of these offices are small and there's not a lot of area to go and vent somewhere. You're all there connected together, and I think that when eAssist comes in and has all of these things taken out of the picture, that a lot of times frustrates a dental office, because the doctor wants to do a great job, not only for the patient, but for the financial future of the practice. And then the front desk also wants to do a great job because the dentist is expecting that collections should be performing at the right level. What are your thoughts?
Those are huge stresses within the office, making sure that we're able to, I know that dental offices run with very high overhead. The profit margin is very slim for a dental office to make money. And so it's important to make sure that we can utilize the resources that we have effectively, and so that we can help maintain the financial health of the practice. Being able to offer our support to the office, to the doctor and the office manager by billing claims, posting payments, and working the accounts receivables allows them to be more efficient in the office and take care of the patients, and taking the stresses of these financial burdens off of their plate to make sure that the bills are getting paid. They can then focus on the patient care, making sure the patients are comfortable, taking care of the things in the office on the front end with insurance verification and things like that, to make sure that everything is going to run smoothly like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and that picture that we, sorry, Tonya, that picture that we were painting, we didn't even talk about the dentist, how busy they get sometimes, even having to check hygiene. They have to get up and do all these things, and the last thing that they need to know or they need to hear is that there are billing issues or cash flow issues. Would you agree?
Absolutely. That just adds to their stress, right? I think I heard somewhere once that dentists have a high rate of suicide, and that there's a lot of stresses that go on for those doctors, and we really try to help alleviate a lot of that stress, not only for the in-office administrative team, but for everybody, especially that doctor, because they are really trying to make a successful practice grow, and it's really difficult to do that with financial stresses.
And then the reason we brought this up, Tonya, we've talked in the past. The reason we brought this up is because when eAssist is doing all of these things, and your offices that you lead are taking care of these docs, then what happens next is this. Now the staff is well relieved and relaxed. Now they can take the phone calls and perform great on your phone and on your front desk. Now they can greet everybody. They can remember names better. Just all of those customer service, all of those patient care things that are in addition to the technical aspect of the front desk or the complete dental team, all become better. They all perform better. Have you noticed that when you're helping offices out?
Absolutely, and I have to tell you, my offices that I take care of, my original office in Hawaii, they are an amazing group of folks, and I am so very blessed, and it's a testament to their willingness to stick with this process throughout the whole thing too. But with taking care of them in the beginning, they had all of these things that we do as the assisters in office, right? As many offices do when they first sign up. They have these processes that they take care of in practice. But as they transition, they start sending all of these other responsibilities over for eAssist to take care of. They embraced it with open arms. Mm-hmm. Do you know that they don't even know how to post a payment? Wow. They don't even know how to in the office.
Oh my
now.
Goodness!
But it tells me that they have a level of trust in what we're able to take care of for them. That they look to us as the expert in what we do, and that they really, really don't have to worry about it.
I have done so much posting in my life. Oh my! I wish I had eAssist so much more long ago. So this has been an amazing episode, Tonya. I always enjoy talking to you because
Thank you.
we talked about you. We talked about us, not just you. How eAssist has changed my life too. We talked about we went deep into the office. But now. One of the last things that I really want to bring up before we go on for our weekend here is that with the people that work in these offices, they really, you know how we work from home and we have this flexibility? They also need some flexibility. They need to take some time off. And it almost seems that in dental offices, especially the office managers, when they are not in the office, just collections, the process shuts down. Something happens. The flow just doesn't go very well. And with you guys involved, they can take time off. The dentist can take time off and then pick up in 4 days and just go back to work. What are your thoughts?
You know, I wish when I was working in the dental office, I really wish I had something like this to cover me when I was gone on vacation or when I needed to take time off, or if I had sick children that I had to stay home with if I couldn't be there. I knew I had this, growing feeling in the pit of my stomach of all of the work that I was going to have to come back to, and nothing was going to be touched because it doesn't get touched unless I touch it. So knowing that we are here to take care of the offices for these teams, the administrative teams in the office and the doctors, knowing that we're always working in the background, taking care of those claim submissions, working those age claims, posting the payments that come in as they come in. I would, for me, if I had that available to me when I was an office manager, it would give me an enormous amount of peace of mind, knowing that, like Rebecca Avey said, all these little fairies are sprinkling magic fairy dust everywhere, and I come back and the health of the practice is going to continue to flow with that money flowing continuously. It's just a huge peace of mind.
It is. Peace of mind. That is the right word. If you're on the fence today about where you want to head, please, you can please call eAssist. And one thing about it is that there is no long-term contract. If it's not working for you, even though I know once you meet us and you meet the team, you're going to be hooked. There is no risk. There is no risk. It only takes a very short period of time between IT getting you set up and then having someone from the sales team just walk you along. And then your offers team too. One of the things that I used to worry about is, how is my team going to react when this company comes in and starts making them feel like the work is going to go away for them? That didn't happen, because when we talk about Lorena over in California who works on our office, she was so friendly. She was so supportive. Then I started listening to the ladies that work in my office talk about, oh, Lorena's so sweet. Lorena works so hard. It'll become a true partnership. What are your thoughts? Do you get that with your offices as well?
Absolutely. I get emails from my doctors, from my the in-office administrative teams, from all over, from the offices and the doctors. They send me emails like, I'm right there in the office working with them. Thank you so much, Tonya. You're a lifesaver. You're so good at what you do. And I even get emails on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful holiday. And they really do a good job at making me feel like I'm a part of the team, like I'm right there, and telling me how much they appreciate me helping them with what I do. It's amazing feeling.
That's an amazing feeling. Tonya, I just want to tell you that this has been just another monumental episode that you and I have gotten together and produced here together, because we are a team. You know that, right? We are a team. I could not do
Absolutely.
What I'm doing if I just sat there and just, talked about eAssist and the billing and all that. It takes listening to the stories that you have shared with me to complete this wonderful service that we are providing on the show and wonderful services that we are providing for the dental offices. At this point, we have reached the end. Tonya, let me tell you, we have gone for a little bit over 30 minutes here. We have to get together again. We have to record another show about some other topics that you are going to probably go and say, I wanted to talk about this. Please. So let's schedule some time to maybe have another episode air out, in the next few weeks or maybe next month when you're not too busy. And I guarantee you that we're going to be changing some lives. So thank you so much.
To.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience? Because I just want to thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Andre, for the opportunity to share my story and share it with the eAssist Nation and any potential clients out there. It's a wonderful opportunity to be able to be a part of this. And your podcast is an amazing thing for us to be able to use as a tool for us to connect. And I love that you're doing this for us. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And I just want to say one more thing that, if you're listening to this show and if you go and search for number 1, number 2, 3, whatever episode you like, and you hear something that you want to hear again, that's the beauty about podcasts, is that you can slide that little rewind. You can slow it down, you can speed it up, you can do so many things. It could be a university in your car for you, for dental billing, and to improve the services that you give these dental offices. Tonya, thank you again. I know you're busy with your clients, and I know that we're going to talk again in the near future. So have a great weekend, and I just want to say goodbye to our audience.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.